Hi, this is Ryan, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the cheat code to making a healthy vegan diet work for you with my top 3 tips. These are things that I see working again and again for people. So if you follow these tips, you are sure to succeed with your vegan diet. Let's dive right in. Welcome to the channel, guys. I'm Dr. Ryan Williams, your host and the founder of Growing Pure, where we help people make vegan cooking and eating fast, simple, and mind-blowingly tasty. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing the top 3 things that you need to do to succeed with your healthy vegan cooking and eating. These are the things that really make the difference in you being able to stick with a vegan or plant-based eating plan and just making it like a really seamless part of your life. So let's get into it. So the first point is a pretty obvious one, okay? You have to make your food taste incredible, okay? Newsflash, people like tasty things, all right? You like tasty things, I like tasty things. And we really want to make sure that the food that we're eating, especially if it's healthy, tastes really, really delicious. Amazing tasting food with great flavors, like phenomenal textures. These are the dishes that are going to keep us coming back to our meals again and again. Okay, so what about if you don't like cooking? A lot of us feel that way. Maybe we don't want to spend too long in the kitchen. Perhaps we don't like cooking, or we do it just because we kind of have to. What do you do then? Well, there's kind of 2 options. Maybe the first one is you let the food industry step in and create food for you. Now, there's a bit of a sad reality here. And I know because I used to work as a food scientist for quite a few years. And actually the company I worked for were definitely one of the good guys. They really cared about the products they made. But I would say the general ethos of the food industry is pretty simple. We want to make foods that taste irresistibly good, that people keep coming back to and keep wanting to eat more and more and more and more of, because that gets us more profit, right? So that's what the food industry wants. They are not really putting the health of the consumer first because they're a business. They need to make money, so they're putting profits first. To do that, they want you to buy as much as you possibly can of whatever they're selling. So they're going to make it irresistibly tasty. Okay, what's the problem with that? The problem is, to do that, they're going to make it generally really unhealthy. They're going to fill it with loads of artificial junk. They're going to put lots of artificial and extracted fats, sugars, loads of salt. Like, these foods tend to be really not that great for us. And so this means that if we spend years eating animal-based foods or really heavily processed foods, we're going to see our health deteriorate and see negative health outcomes as a result of it. The science is really clear on this. And you might say, okay, fine, I'm just going to use my willpower. I'm not going to go for that stuff. I'm telling you now, your willpower will run out. We're like really instinctual creatures. If we don't have food that tastes good, we will find it. Okay, so what's the solution here? You need to learn how to make foods tastier than anything else in your own kitchen. Now that might sound intimidating or difficult, like you're not a pro chef, I'm not a pro chef, but I'm a good home cook and I can make really, really tasty meals that I love and my friends and family love too. And the secret is, it's not actually that hard to make astoundingly tasty meals and do it quickly and simply too. You can do it. You just need to spend a little bit of time honing your kind of kitchen craft, your kitchen intuition, and you will be able to make restaurant quality meals. And in any case, I believe that tasty food should be a guilt-free pleasure. We shouldn't be like, worrying about, oh, is this going to put pounds on me? Is this going to make me feel awful tomorrow? We should just be able to eat delicious food and feel great about it in our mind and our body. And let me tell you, if you learn the skills to be able to transform humble, simple ingredients like vegetables and whole grains into amazing tasting meals, you're going to have such richness for the rest of your life. Every day we're eating, and you can get this skill set and use it for the rest of your life. it really does pay dividends. And I've seen that in my own life and the lives of my family and friends. So how do you actually go about doing this? How do you learn these skills? Well, it's a pretty big topic, but I'll get you started with 4 amazing tips. Okay, firstly, you want to use ingredients that have enough flavor intensity, especially herbs and spices, but you don't want to be cooking kind of bland food. You want to make sure that there's a lot of flavor in there. You're using different ingredients that are really going to add some oomph to your meals, all right? Another great tip is using a sauce or a marinade. That can really just add quite an intense flavor on top of whatever you've got. And you can make homemade sauces really quickly and easily. I have what I call my bulletproof sauce formula, which is just a simple recipe that I remember, and you can use that simple formula to make hundreds of sauces. If you're interested, let me know in the comments and I will make a video sharing it with you guys. Point 3 on how to make food taste incredible. You kind of need enough salt. Now, salt's a bit of a tricky one because you don't want to go over the board with it, okay? Too much salt can lead to high blood pressure. I find a really good middle ground is to use a low sodium salt. So in this case, some of the sodium chloride from salt is replaced with potassium chloride. And potassium can actually have the opposite effect to sodium. It can actually lower our blood pressure rather than raise it. So I think that's great because you can get the taste that makes you want to keep eating healthy foods, but it's not giving you those deleterious health effects. Point number 4, and this is a tricky one because it's not that intuitive. You can sometimes have this experience where you taste your meal and it's good, like it's really nice, but there's something just not quite there. It's just not quite hitting the spot. That's the experience that I kind of feel when I realize there isn't enough acidity in the food. You want to get a little bit of acidity and it just brings all the other flavors to life. It's really cool. So to do that, when you have your meal out on the plate or in a bowl, squeeze over some lemon juice or some lime juice or a little splash of vinegar. It will do wonders for your meal. Okay, the second part of our cheat code for succeeding on a healthy vegan diet is we need to make our vegan lifestyle convenient and automatic. Okay, so imagine the scenario, all right? You've had a busy day at work, maybe you've been looking after family, there's kids, there's responsibilities. You get in at the end of a long, busy day, you're hungry, you need to get something to eat, and you look in the cupboards or the fridge and there's nothing good in there. What do? You end up getting junky snacks, or you order takeaway, you get junk food, you just get whatever you can that's tasty and just fills the hole. That's a really easy trap to fall into, and I do it sometimes, but I know that when I'm a little bit organized and I take the decision making out of day-to-day healthy eating, it just helps make this so effortless. So we know we've got to make our food delicious, but we also have to make it fast, convenient, and simple. Okay, so how are you going to do this? There are a few strategies here that I would suggest. Number 1, automate whatever you can, especially I find deliveries of staple foods, especially things like whole grains and beans that don't spoil. Also, I would say bananas and potatoes are great. They fill you up, they're super healthy, they're really cheap as well, and they're just fantastic to have in. Oats would be another good one, especially for breakfast time. I get these kind of things delivered automatically on a sort of weekly or monthly basis. And so a service like Amazon can do this for you. You can sort of subscribe and it will just automatically send you the things that you use on a regular basis. So this way, you know you're always going to have really delicious, tasty food that's healthy in whenever you need it. So you're never going to have to get hungry and then end up going for something you don't really want. Okay, 2, we're going to want to plan ahead at the start of the week. Spend 5 minutes thinking, okay, what am I going to have for lunch and dinner, especially for this week? What about my family? Maybe you need to plan for them as well, but especially for yourself, just go, okay, what am I going to have? Maybe you don't need to plan it out in meticulous detail. That's probably not necessary, especially if you followed the point of automating and you've got some staple foods in. Just have a rough idea when you're going to cook so you can make a plan of when you need to shop, get your shopping list together, get your shopping done, and it'll be really quick and easy. Okay, now this one is absolutely key. Cook in bigger batches. it's really obvious, but it's so worth doing, okay? You take the time to invest in cooking. You make something really delicious, really tasty, and you've put some blood, sweat and tears into your food. Hopefully not literally, but you've worked on making a great meal. It takes the same time to oven roast one potato as it does 10, okay? You may as well do a big portion so that you have enough to feed a family, or enough to meal prep for the week, or even just enough to give yourself lunch for the next couple of days. Okay, so if I'm cooking, even if it's just for me, I'm a pretty big guy, I'm 6'5", so I eat like a lot anyway, but I'm probably gonna make enough for at least 3 portions for me whenever I cook. That's just a really time efficient way of spending time in the kitchen. And you also just wanna be as time efficient as you can be, especially when you're in the kitchen. It's like, the analogy is like running a race through thick mud. You're always going to be slow compared to someone that's running the race on flat, level ground. No matter how hard you try, you're just going to go slower. But there's a way of combating this. You learn time efficient techniques that you can carry forward with you, and then you're always going to be able to get that head start and move through the tasks you have to do quickly. And if you want my top time-saving hacks, just click the link in the description below and you'll get my time-saving hacks guide completely for free. All right, the third and final part of my cheat code for you. And this is kind of a little bit of a deeper reason than the previous two. The previous two are a little bit more tactical. I would call this one more strategic. This is deeper. You really want to clarify in your own mind and in your own heart, actually, why are you doing this? What is your cause for eating this way? You have to be really clear on exactly like why you're doing this, because at the beginning of starting something new, a new eating plan, new exercise regime, whatever it is, our motivation's really high and our willpower is really high. And it's quite easy for the first few days, but very, very quickly, those things drain away. And when the going gets tough, motivation and willpower will abandon you. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. So what happens when motivation and willpower abandon you? You need to fall back on something stronger and more foundational than those. You need to fall back on purpose and on discipline. I know you might not want to hear that, and this is a little bit of a hard truth, but it just is the way it is. You've got to really feel in your core why you're doing this. I'm going to share with you a little bit of an exercise that I found has really helped me and other people that I've known, and I think it'll probably help you as well. So why do you want to eat vegan? Now, you're going to have your personal reason, and that's absolutely fine, but there tend to be some common themes. Often it can be for health reasons. We really want to look after our health. Maybe we are scared or concerned about negative health outcomes for ourselves, and we know that a vegan diet can really help with that. Maybe it's environmental concerns, We're concerned about climate change, about environmental degradation, and we know that eating plant-based foods is a really good strategy for minimizing our environmental impact. Or for many of us, a vegan diet is really an ethical position. And I think this is a really powerful one, especially because considering others, in this case animals, really helps to put things in perspective for us and keep us on the right track when the going gets tough. So whatever your why is, get that in your mind. But now take a moment and let's do a little exercise, and perhaps do this after the video, but I'm going to talk you through it now. Imagine a future scenario, okay? So you have adopted or are trying a vegan diet, and you must have some goal for it, some dream outcome. Imagine 1 year, maybe 5 years into the future. What would your life look like if you stick with that vegan diet plan and you don't stray from it and you get that dream outcome that you're going for? Close your eyes, really feel that in exquisite detail. I want you to really be precise about exactly how you feel, what you look like, what your interaction with other people is like, where you're at in your life. Take the time to do that for probably a few minutes. Really feel it. And then the second half of this exercise is equally important. What happens 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if you don't stick with this vegan eating plan? What happens if you stray off it? What happens to your body? What happens to the environment? What happens to animals? Whatever your motivation is. Really sit and feel what that is going to be. I think doing this exercise is so powerful because it really paints that picture in your mind that's very hard to imagine right now. But when we extrapolate through time, we can really see where our day-to-day decisions are going to lead eventually. And so if you're crystal clear on your purpose, it becomes much easier to succeed on your vegan diet and smash your goals. Now, I hope you have really taken on board these 3 cheat codes to succeeding with your vegan cooking and eating. You know, you don't need to overcomplicate eating vegan. It can be pretty simple. There's just a few core strategies and you're going to find it a blessing in your life. Just get a few things right, it'll become effortless, it'll fit into your daily routine and you won't even need to think about it, but you will see the health benefits, the fitness benefits, and it'll be great for you. And don't forget, as a free bonus for you, no strings attached, I just want you to succeed with this. Click the link in the description below to get my how to make delicious and healthy vegan meals fast. These are really powerful time-saving hacks that are going to make your cooking and eating effortless and automatic. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.